world economy, that Ethiopia and countries like us are going to be left behind. The divide between the developed and the developing is going to continue to diverge. And so I felt like being given the opportunity to come to the United States and learn about how the systems work, how those decisions are being made, was a crucial piece for me to accelerate more investments that are coming into Ethiopia. And from Ethiopia, I realized, why am I just anchoring to the country that I was born into? Because there are other people that look like me from neighboring countries that need the same level of support. So what really drives me is when I see that we are in a place today where technology is rapidly developing, and I would like to plug in as soon as possible. And that's what motivates me. That's the impact I want to generate. Have everybody on equal standing. But more importantly, my people also benefit significantly, right? The literacy rates will start climbing up. Access to higher education will be more available. Simultaneously, they'll be able to have better healthcare, better access to calories. This is luxury and privilege that's available in the Western world. And unless people like me are driven to start plugging in to that Western world's luxury, start benefiting the people that we, my home, then it won't happen. So that's what drives me.
I've been loving Vegamore for the last 2 years. If you watch my videos, you know that I swear by.
After Soka, I wanted to focus more on our schools that we had in Nepal. I had started one school in our rural village in Western Nepal, especially for the children in need. After coming to Soka, I wanted to expand it and I wanted to build more schools so that we can reach out to more children in need. I myself was orphaned when I was in high school, so that strengthened my belief to support the children who are in similar situations. After coming to Soka, it kind of strengthened my belief because of the people I met here. It strengthened my belief to do this work at even a larger scale. We have 2 schools now. We have around 250 students. 33 of them are orphans and children in extreme need of support, that we house them on campus at our school and provide them food, education, counseling, and all the care that they need. The ideology of the mission of the school, that like Soka, how we want to be a university where even the students with a very limited finance can afford to go to college, right? And that also resonated to what we were doing. So that's what we want to do as well. Like, even if the children's family don't have anyone to even take care of them, we bring them from wherever they are and try to provide with everything they need to reach their full potential. What we expect from our students, or what we hope them to achieve in future, is like we want them to reach full potential, like how we also have that philosophy here in Soka to prepare students to reach their full potential, to live a contributor life.
I first was introduced to special education in my study abroad experience when I lived in Africa, in Dakar, Senegal. And I did an internship there at a school that was entirely special education students. And that really gave me the motivation and the experience that I needed to realize that was something that I would like to do in the future. Because I received from professors and teachers the interactions that I also emulate with my students and the care that I give them. I'm always just thinking about my students. So I'm always like, okay, what more can I do? What more can they receive, or can they enjoy, aside from just helping them academically. So the care that I received at Soka University is something that I have also been able to apply in the classroom and the community. And the care that I received at Soka specifically is my last year. And it wasn't necessarily the experience I was hoping for, since I had a lot of struggles and I fell into a pretty bad depression. But a lot of the personnel at Soka helped me And that honestly gave me the hope and the optimism to keep going, because I knew that I had the support that I needed. And I use that care and compassion that they gave me, and I use it with my students. I recently was awarded the Heart of Education Award, and I received that because I truly try to be a role model for my students inside and outside of the classroom. I try to be someone that they can look up to, and the way that I treat them and the way I teach them to treat each other with kindness and love. And when I'm not in the classroom, I'm thinking about my students and how I can help them. And so I created a birthday bank where I collected toys for children, so that they could receive a gift for their birthday throughout the school year. And we basically made a list of all the students' birthdays, and every month we would gather them and we would give them toys that I collected with the help of the community. And I did this for 3 years. And I also created another event where I was able to invite the community again and ask them for support, and we raised $800, and we purchased clothes and jackets and underwear and gloves for homeless youth in Las Vegas. And I really did those things because together we are able to create more, and with supporting one another, it's really what's going to create that love and unity and creating change. And change is what we need.
Hello, I am Fabi. From Venezuela, where I currently live, and I am a class of '05. In the past few years, I have been able to attend a few Sohokai meetings in person, and the past few years, I've participated online. I try to participate in everything I can with Sohokai because to me, SUA is home to my soul, and so keeping up with Sohokai, it's like being in touch with my family. And I also love the fact that we can stay in touch with our values of humanism, of global citizenship, of wanting to have a better world and contributing to that. So I always stay in touch. Thank you so much, and I hope to see all of you very soon.
Hi, everyone. It's Ruby. I've had the great honor of being alumni staff, and being able to see alumni come back year after year during the Sohokai annual meeting. And for me, I love that moment when alum describe when they're coming down the hill and they see the first glimpse of Soka. So many of us could relate to that moment, right? Of like that feeling that it evokes when you see campus for the first time in such a long time. So for me, I love when I see alum come back and talk about that moment, but even more so, what it means to see Sohokai and each other and friends, and kind of honestly refresh the dreams and expectations we had not only for ourselves when we are graduating, but the promises we made with each other and the kind of people we want to be and the kind of citizens we want to be as we contribute to society. And so that's what I love about Alumni Weekend is that knowing that alumni come back feeling so refreshed and going back out into our respective places of work and home and being able to contribute to our communities as global citizens, as a Sohokai Global Network. So I can't wait to see you all soon. I'm so looking forward to this weekend. See you soon.
Hey, Sohokai, how are you? It's Jimmy King from the Office of Admission. Hope you're doing well, that you're in good health. It's actually been about 20 years since I started working at Soka back in 2003. And I could say it's really been the best 20 years of my life. I want to thank so many of you. I really consider so many of you to be like family and like younger brothers and sisters. And, you know, I've always been inspired by how much like you really care about each other and really your desire to make the world a better place. You know, it's really made this such an amazing place to work at. I know that we're still a young institution, but I feel that you've really helped to build such an amazing foundation here. Fun fact, you know, commencement actually used to be my least favorite time of the year because I would get really sad when a lot of the seniors would be graduating and I felt that I wouldn't see a lot of you for many years. But as the years have actually passed, commencement's become the most, you know, favorite time of the year for me because so many of you actually return home. I hope you always feel that this is your home, and I hope to see you very soon. Please take good care of yourself. Bye.
Hi, Sohokai. My name is Mitsuaki Hirai from class of 2009. Sohokai is the source of inspiration, encouragement, and perseverance to me. There have been many ups and downs since I graduated from SUA, but whenever and wherever I met with Sohokai members, I was so encouraged and was able to renew my determination to face daily challenges in life and do my best. Although I cannot attend the Sohokai meeting in person this year, I'm looking forward to connecting and reconnecting with everyone soon. Thank you very much.
This is Arch Asawa, Executive Vice President for Finance and Administration, but more importantly, I am your biggest fan. You see, I truly feel you all are the real treasures of SUA, because through you, we are fulfilling our mission to foster a steady stream of global citizens committed to living a contributive life. I understand that this year's theme is We Are Coming Home. I absolutely love this theme because SUA truly is and always will be your home. I look forward to welcoming many back to campus because many things have changed over the past few years. I encourage you to see the new state-of-the-art life sciences building right across from the Soka Performing Arts Center, framing a beautiful metaphor of arts and science. In addition, we have made several campus enhancements, largely funded by you, our precious Sohokai, focused on our founding principles throughout the campus, culminating in the new Soka Heritage Hall, which opened earlier this year. I truly look forward to welcoming you all back home to SUA. See you soon.
is above the hill, and our campus is paved in gold. The light of hope, arise from here, shining on beyond 1,000 years. On every path and every stone resides a founding spirit. This spirit is my own. For the sake of the people, I will study and learn fearlessly and without cease. And for the world, create a new future of happiness for humankind. It is my purpose now to plant the seed in the learning in pursuit of my youthful dreams. Determined youth emerges from the earth. The beating pulse of life grows stronger as we gather. Global citizens uniting in respect and triumphant the day begins. The light of hope, here and now it shines. As youthful passion burning in our hearts. Through education surpasses that of trials and hardships. Harsh lessons learned online. We'll go into society and do the best we can to shatter the dark of night. To live a life engaged in new construction. Our hearts forever bound as one. Today we live above, making bridges, dialogues of justice may be done. Underneath the shining canopy of stars, we ponder the words of thinkers through the ages. My young friends, I entrust my dreams to you. I am counting on you to spread the light of hope throughout the world, to be the change that finally unfurls. The gleaming banner of humanity, the flag of freedom, for all the world to see. Be philosophers who bring about a renaissance of life. Open the way for peace. This wondrous world awaits us all. A courageous heart will heed the call. I offer and dedicate to you the pride of an indomitable life, committed to achievement of what you provide. I offer and dedicate to you the light of hope that rises above all hardships and makes every dream come true.
Right into it. Didn't go right into the hello Soka.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone who's in the room, welcome home to our first alumni meeting in person since 2019. Yay! And for all of those joining us online, let's wave, yay! Thank you for joining us. We're so happy to see everyone. We have an awesome meeting planned for you, but first and foremost, we want to congratulate the class of 2023 on their graduation. So we're going to get to know them a little bit. We've invited a member of their class to come and introduce them. His name is Kentaro. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this year's annual alumni meeting. It is an honor for me to stand here before you today on behalf of the class of 2023. I'd like to begin by expressing my heartfelt appreciation to all the alumni present here and online. Your support and guidance have been instrumental in creating an inspiring environment for us throughout our studies, especially during the most challenging times. For instance, during those nerve-wracking final exam periods, the donuts that you prepare for us not only satisfy our hunger, but also served as a reminder of the strong bonds we share as a community. Also, Marie Curie Hall stands as a testament to the generosity of the alumni who made it possible. This magnificent facility has provided us with a nurturing space to grow and learn. Additionally, the beautiful eucalyptus peace grove, adorned with benches and large boulders, serves as a serene gathering spot between the dining hall and dormitories. It was made possible through donations from the Alumni Association, serving as a constant reminder of the significance of studying at the CUA. Furthermore, your support and mentorship have played a crucial role in enabling us to create value in society through our passions and dreams. I'd also like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the current class senate leaders, Jerry, Yoselin, and Kazumi. Without a doubt, they are the best class senate team. Their tireless efforts behind the scenes have made our journey at the university even more memorable. From organizing beach bonfires and the spectacular senior ball to the appreciation reception, they have created experiences that will forever remain etched in our hearts. And a special shout out to Jerry, whose coffee making skills rival those of professional barista, always ensuring that we had the feel to power through our days. Now, let me share with you two defining characteristics of our class that have shaped our time at this university. The first one is resilience. We face numerous challenges, particularly the unprecedented global pandemic. However, in line with Mr. Daisaku Ikeda's call to light the inner flames of fortitude, we refuse to succumb to defeat. Although physically torn apart, we remain connected in mind and spirit. We adapted to the online world, finding innovative ways to spend time together. Many people also enjoy the virtual horror movie night. It was through these shared experiences that we responded to Mr. Ikeda's call to hone our leadership attributes, nurturing the far-reaching hope necessary to navigate the challenges of today and steer spaceship Earth towards a brighter future. The second hallmark of our class is the incredible group of people who respond to Mr. Ikeda's call to drive our faith in peace into the very depths of our lives. My classmates represent pioneers in various fields, be it life sciences, business, sports, or other areas in SU's history. Chase, as a leader of the California Pacific Conference Student Athletic Council, promotes ethics in sports and inspires us all. Julia, a social media influencer, uses her platform to inspire students around the world. Amelia's ability to fluently speak so many languages astounds. Daiki's work as a professional photographer and filmmaker captures the essence of our experiences as well. And let's not forget Koki, whose capstone project showcased cartooning skills that could easily be mistaken for professional work. They embody the words of John Dewey, shared by Mr. Ikeda, that what we accomplish becomes a standing ground and starting point for those who come after us. In conclusion, as we celebrate this milestone, let us also acknowledge the incredible achievements of our peers and the diverse paths they are embarking upon after Soka. Many of us have been accepted into prestigious graduate schools, including Harvard, Cambridge, Columbia, and UCLA, securing opportunities to further expand our knowledge and expertise. Additionally, it is worth noting that several of our accomplished peers have secured prestigious positions, including one at Bank of America, showcasing the breadth of success and impact we are collectively making in the professional world. We also recognize that some will be returning home to be with their families as they contemplate their next steps. Let's celebrate each and every one of us, embracing the unique journeys we are undertaking. As we stand together as a united cohort, We are committed to becoming exemplary global citizens. As we move forward from this institution, we carry with us the torch of resilience and a commitment to drive peace into the very depths of our lives. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and we are ready to continue the legacy Daisaku Ikeda and so many people who made our education possible have entrusted with us with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kentaro. Welcome to the Sohokai class of 2023. Many of you may remember Ambassador and Mrs. Chowdhury, who stayed with us multiple times on our campus while Ambassador Chowdhury taught the Culture of Peace Learning Cluster starting in 2007. Ambassador Chowdhury received the first ever Global Citizenship Award from President Fiesel in 2020 and donated the prize money back to SUA with the request to create a memorial space on campus for Mrs. Chowdhury, who had just passed away. This morning, we dedicated the Miriam Chowdhury Corner for Global Citizenship in Residence Hall 305, where they stayed while on campus. This space will serve as a reminder of Mrs. Chowdhury's everlasting generosity, warmth, humor, and conviction that a culture of peace is possible and that we are part of the solution.
So today we are continuing to celebrate under the theme Soka Global Citizens in Action, taking bold steps to build our shared legacy. You might remember that we set this theme in 2022, and we decided that it resonates so much with where we are as an association that we'll continue this theme until 2025.
Yes, as you may have noticed, we've been showcasing alumni Global Citizen Status Update videos on Instagram all year, and we will continue to do so. We know you are all working hard to build happy, successful lives and give back in your communities. Thank you for everything you're doing, seen and unseen. If you'd like to share your Global Citizen Status Update with us, please email us at sohokai@soka.edu or message us on Instagram.
And before we move on, we wanted to thank all of the alumni who are volunteering their time to support the Sohokai. This year we had amazing dialogue events, a few really meaningful interactions on campus, organized by our current student support committee, and some great new storytelling spearheaded by our communications committee. A huge thank you as well to all of the class reps who helped promote this event. We wanted to call out in specific 2015, Indigo and Nick. Woo! We heard there was a little bit of light stalking, and the results are that they are the largest contingent of alumni here today. So congratulations and thank you.
And a special shout out to our regional chapter reps this year who stepped up to create a series of amazing in-person events all around the world. Thank you. Yay! We felt this was really important to reconnect as a community out of the pandemic. So far, more than 475 alumni and families have gathered in regions around the world this year. It's been really powerful. So to share more, we created a video showcasing these events. Please enjoy.
class of 2010.
I'm Rian, class of 2017.
And we're your new Hawaii chapter reps. We just had our first kickoff meeting here at the International Marketplace in Waikiki, and we had a great gathering of food, friends, new family members, and lots of experiences and fun times together.
Yes, and I think through this experience, we really hope that we can reconnect with all of the alumni here in Hawaii. I know we're spread across all our islands here, and so we're appreciative for everybody who's able to fly out here, and we're hoping to continue to have events and to really continue to support one another. Anybody who's going to be visiting the islands too, also let us know so we can try to connect with one another.
We are so excited by the momentum created at these events and can't wait to see more gatherings around the world. If you aren't aware, a region can be created if there are 20 or more alumni living in a metropolitan area here in the US or a geographic region internationally. So contact us if you're interested in getting connected to your region or learning more about the requirements to start one.
We really believe that these regions are the future of the Sohokai. So many activities are going to happen there. So we're extremely excited that Hawaii became a chapter in April. Yay! Chicago is probably next. Yay! And there's more in the pipeline, which is very exciting. But in order to invite you to all of these great events, it's really important that we have your updated address. So please take a moment, scan the QR code, and update your information on a really quick survey. And it also includes career information, which we would love to have for all of you as well. So please take a moment and we will wait. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much. We look forward to having your correct contact information and not having the mailer demon thing pop up every time we send you stuff. So thank you for taking the time to do that. So moving on, now we are very pleased to share that we've received a message from our founder, Daisaku Ikeda. This message will be read by Sonal Mokani from the class of 2009.
Message to the members of the Sohokai, who are my greatest pride and joy. Thank you very much for all of your efforts to gather here today. Please know that I am with you in spirit, warmly watching over every development, as if I too were attending this most splendid reunion together with you. I am fully aware of the tremendous progress you have been making in your chosen fields amid these uncertain times, while striving to deepen and expand bonds of trust and friendship in your respective communities throughout the world. As the university founder, nothing brings me greater joy than this. It is my earnest hope that all of you, members of the Sohokai, will continue to inspire and encourage one another as you deepen your treasured friendships, which are foremost in the world. Do so as you resiliently challenge every adversity in both life and society, resolutely pressing forward with joy and perseverance no matter what. In closing, I would like to share the following words of Dr. Wangari Maathai, mother of the African grassroots environmental movement, with all of you who are so precious and irreplaceable. No matter what, I will not give up. I will grow even stronger instead. I am praying for your safety and security and for your happiness and triumph. Please stay well. May 27th, 2023. Daisaku Ikeda, founder. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sanal. Now, we are excited to hear updates from a few of you, starting with Tyson La Deng from the class of 2017 and Azumi Tamae from the class of 2007. Please enjoy.
Hey everyone, my name is Tyson La Deng and I am from the class of 2017. I'm here with you today to share what I've been up to post-graduating from Soka. So after graduation, I moved to the Bay Area where I had an internship with Pixar Animation Studios and working with their audiovisual team. Part of my responsibilities working there were to take care of all of their in-house theaters, which means calibrating all of their projectors, their screens, writing automation code, and also taking care of all of their conference rooms where the illustrators work. Pixar was a really great opportunity, honestly. I got to meet a lot of different people from different walks of the earth, actors, actresses, directors, artists, you name it. At some point, I even got to hold both Oscars that the Coco production team won. So, I mean, never imagined I would do that. After my internship with Pixar, I moved to New Hampshire, where I started my master's in information technology and cybersecurity. And then while I was doing my master's, I moved to Boston for an internship with PayPal, with their help desk team. It was a great opportunity indeed. However, it wasn't as fulfilling as I wanted it to be. Not a lot of research. So I started a different internship with the security team this time, all the way out in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I stayed there for 3 months, learned a lot of things about security. After that was over, I went back to New Hampshire and wrote my thesis on a project that I was working on with the security team. After my master's, I got a full-time offer from PayPal, accepted it, and now I work for them. I started with the technology and assurance team, and then 6 months in, I moved to a different team called Bug Bounty, which now I lead. It's a team of security researchers that work with external hackers, about 11,000 of them globally, where all these hackers will submit reports to us, and then we triage them, and based on the criticality, we award them, ranging from $100 to $30K. So that's my job right now. It's a nice job, to be honest, because it keeps you on your toes. Every day is a new day. All these hackers come up with new things, new technologies. So you're constantly learning. Apart from work, I also sit at the Board of Trustees of Dublin School, which is the high school I attended. And I help them with their development committee and the technology committee. And also I sit in the technical advisory board for HackerOne, which is the company that provides all these ethical hackers. And I help with all their new technology stacks. And lastly, last year I started an MBA. However, I had to defer it due to all the responsibilities that I have. But I'll be done with that in December of 2024. So in 2025, ask me again what I'm doing. And I just want to end by saying congratulations to the class of 2023. Welcome to Sohokai. Have a blessed day.
For me, being a global citizen means being the light of hope for those around me, wherever I am and under any circumstances. Hi, my name is Azumi Tamae from the class of 2007. 2 years ago, my then 1-year-old daughter was diagnosed with acute leukemia. Her leukemia was a very rare type, and when the doctor told me that there was no established treatment and that the survival rate was unknown, I felt like I saw nothing but darkness ahead of us. My daughter was admitted to the hospital for 7 months and had 5 rounds of chemo. Sometimes children in the same ward passed away in the middle of treatment, and I was terrified that my daughter might be next. But she was always cheerful and smiled every day, even on the days she suffered from high fever or had to rely on blood transfusions to survive. On the day of her return to the hospital after her temporary discharge, my daughter was happy to say "Yay!" and she joyfully tackled the difficult treatment. She only believed in the future that will surely get better. My daughter was a light of hope for us, and she taught me that no disease can extinguish the spark of life in anyone. Just like my daughter, I wanted to send hope to those around me, so I decided to actively reach out to the parents I met at the hospital. When you're faced with unacceptable reality like being diagnosed with a fatal disease or losing a child, you may not want to hear positive words or even encouragement. Sometimes we feel that neither family nor friends will get it anyway. Sometimes only after experiencing the same difficult situation can we say, I understand how you feel. So I try to listen to them thoroughly and wholeheartedly. Sometimes I invited them to my house, and sometimes we cried together in the consulting room in the hospital. In this way, we shared the burden of each other's hearts. Then we talked about small goals and hopes for in our daily lives, such as we will definitely be able to celebrate Christmas together as a family next year, or let's have a play date after our kids get out of the hospital. Hope for tomorrow, no matter how small, saved us from being overwhelmed by despair. Exactly 1 year ago today, my daughter was able to leave the hospital and she's still doing very well with no signs of weakness. My husband and I wrote a list of places we wanted to visit and people we wanted to meet after our daughter got out of the hospital, and we have been able to realize most of them in this past year. I am now searching for ways to apply my family experience to my future career and to support others who are similarly suffering. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to my family and friends, especially the 07 family, for praying and supporting us endlessly. I am attending the reunion this year virtually, but I look forward to seeing you all on the beautiful SUA campus in the near future. Thank you very much.
Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you, Tyson and Azumi. Now we have a very special treat for you. You may have heard that one of our very own Sohokai is absolutely killing it in her music career, touring around the world, working on collabs with some of the biggest hip hop and R&B artists out there. We're so happy that she is here with us today from the class of 2013, singing her hit single, Ice-T. Let's stand up. Let's give it up. Stand up. Let's give it up for Joyce Rice.
Everyone, it's so good to be back. Thank you for having me. We can just press play. Whenever y'all are ready. Hey. This is called Ice-T, produced by one of my favorite producers, Kate Tronada. Such a dream of mine to have this collaboration. Please dance. Hey. I speaking on my ammo, but they I know you see the skin glow, sweet life. Keep up with my tempo while I sway feel some way. When I'm in my back, can slow the pace. I know my place. It's a shame how you hate on everything and everyone when you're the one to blame. Ooh, keep it all the love because I'm better on my own. So you could go sit your. I'm caught up in my flow, something that you never know. Don't need nobody to care. It feels good when you're living like me. You can't mess with a woman like me. No, lemon slicing and sugar iced tea. I know y'all can move more than that. Hey, I just wanna let go. I speaking on my ego, but hey, y'all are moving more than the adults. I love it. Hey, can you dance for us? Yes? Okay, what are you gonna do? Sweetest deceiver, biting on the hand that feeds ya. I see ya, demeanor. Why you getting mad? You wanna come on this side? Money don't heal the pain. I know we ain't all the same. You see through like cellophane. I love it. Keep it on the low because I'm better on my own. So you could go sit your over. Hey, I'm caught up in my flow. Something that you never know. Don't need nobody to care. Yeah. Like me, you can't. Hi. Lemon slice of your sugar iced tea. Whoa, whoa. It feels good when you're living carefree. I just wanna let go. Oh, so low. Can you sing? No, you see the skin. You see my skin glow. Go, yeah. Keep up with my tempo. While I let go. While I lay it. While I let go. Oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Shout out to the class of 2013. And give it up for my special guest.
Thank you, Joyce, Kenken, and Tayo. Yes, amazing. So now we have something a little different for you. We're going to celebrate some, hang on, Soka vision today. I'm just kidding. So we're excited to welcome Jihi Jolly Bogdanov and Lenny Bogdanov from the class of 2011 to share their story from SUA today. Welcome, Jihi and Lenny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jihi Jolly Bogdanov from the class of 2011. Thank you for the opportunity to share some reflections with fellow Sohokai today. 12 years ago, exactly today, I graduated on this stage. We were the first to graduate from the Performing Arts Center, after which I pursued a career in journalism with a focus on gender, care, and media.
Yes, hello, I am Lenny Bogdanov, Jihi's husband. And the last time I was here on stage, I was actually working as a stage tech right before and during the Performing Arts Center's opening. And interestingly, today I work in the tech industry, so some consistency. And while I entered with the same class as Jihi, I took a little longer to graduate. So we did do our capstones together at the same time. I wrote about Reddit, Jihi wrote about literary journalism. And we weren't actually dating at the time, but Jihi was my writing center tutor, and
Little did we know that we would end up married and working in fields that are pretty much an evolution of those capstone interests. But more importantly, today we want to share a little bit about what we learned while at SUA that has sustained both our careers and friendships in the years since.
SUA has always had a very special place in my heart. Before entering as a freshman, I took a very untraditional path. I was expelled as a senior in high school, but through a series of events, I made it to SUA, where I was subsequently academically dismissed and then returned a year later. It was during my dismissal and before returning SUA that an alumni who knew my situation asked me why I thought it was important to return as a student. The alumni, while challenging me, also helped me realize my desire to create value in the world and not just flounder in my circumstances. This makes me think of a quote from Tsunetsuburo Makaguchi, the founder of Soka Education's philosophy, where he states, "What we can create, however, is value and value alone. When we praise persons for their strength of character, we are really acknowledging their superior ability to create value." In retrospect, I realized that being part of a university with such high aspirations to do good in the world instilled in me a desire to create value in everything that I did. As a student, and even after, I found myself working numerous part-time jobs and ended up finding a career in software development. Although I was never formally trained or went to school to study programming, I was inspired by my fellow classmates at SUA who were looking at the world through lenses of social work, education, and international policy. And it made me want to do my best and find ways where I could create value and the greatest impact where I was. There were only a few alumni at the time who were pursuing careers in technology, but it gave me a sense of hope that this was a viable path. In quantifying value, I was excited by the high leverage opportunity in software and internet-based businesses where one person could literally impact millions, sometimes billions of people with what they created. Even more, knowing the field itself was not commonly pursued by alumni, I felt a sense of responsibility for my efforts that would open up the way for future alumni as well. I first worked as a programmer for the New Yorker magazine, which honestly I thought would impress Jihi, and then also allowed me to move to the city where she lived. I went on to work for the US federal government during the Obama administration, and then joined Google, where I worked on making open source typography available in every language around the world. I eventually started a company and went through a startup program called Y Combinator, which led me to where I am now, working at a technology firm called OpenAI, where I've been building a product called ChatGPT. The lesson throughout this that I continue to hold on to from my time at SUA is rather than the skills or experience that you do or don't have, it's the spirit to create value where you are at each moment that opens doors.
For me, attending SUA was a long-time dream, particularly because of its emphasis on global citizenship. Having grown up South Asian in a predominantly white community without much diversity of thought or career path, I was eager to find a place in which I could be myself and explore ways to contribute to the world rather than just view work as income. It was at SUA that I fell in love with journalism, particularly because of my experience working on the Pearl for most of my time here. An education outside the classroom that taught me how to think for myself, how to juggle a lot of deadlines, and how to tell stories in responsible and creative ways through teamwork. I decided to attend journalism school at Columbia University after SUA based on the encouragement of an SUA professor to go into the news industry, which was difficult for me. One, because SUA didn't offer journalism classes and I didn't feel prepared, but on a deeper level, because as much as I loved nonfiction storytelling, I felt the journalism industry often did more harm than good in the stereotypes and social divisions it perpetuated. But with the support of local alumni, I went to learn. On my first day of graduate school, I was asked if I was the one from that interesting yoga school in California. And in that moment, I realized that whatever I chose to do with my career, I would be representing SUA in spaces where the kind of critical thinking, dialogue, and contributive stance we learn here might be very new to people, and sharing these values would be as important as learning the trade. If I could share one lesson that I have held on to, which will be familiar to some of you, it would be that our dreams should be so big that they take more than a lifetime to accomplish, not just a few years. This gave me the courage not to follow the traditional path in journalism, and instead continue to explore what I think journalism is for. Over the years, that opened up many opportunities, such as reporting a McCormick Foundation-funded series on the future of news literacy, teaching high school journalism at the School of the New York Times and community center journalism at Stony Brook, producing a Gates-funded series on women's economic advancement in the Global South, and also doing independent work that pushed the boundaries of storytelling, such as through combining journalism, documentary, and dance to tell the story of what it feels like to live undocumented in the US, because some stories need to be felt in order to be understood. It also opened doors to professional communities I never would have otherwise been able to work with, two of the most important being a network of journalism entrepreneurs who are building local news organizations in the US that are truly people-centered, and a network of feminist economists working to shift how economics values and studies the work of women globally. Along the way, Lenny showed up at so many journalism events that I had to concede to marrying him. The truth is, to find really meaningful work, especially when you work independently or on a project basis, can be a very up and down process. Lenny has witnessed more than a few such seasons, but coming back to our starting point has always refreshed me. In a nutshell, it's because SUA taught me to think for myself, to live with big, at times overwhelming questions about human behavior, and to use every experience to learn for the sake of those who don't have the time or resources, that I haven't given up during the seasons in which it feels very hard to explain what it is I'm doing. What gives me the most pride is that by opening doors and building relationships in rooms where SUA students have not been before, my success as an alumni will really depend on what happens decades from now, as more of us move into fields that impact the future of humanity.
We also want to add that global citizenship is not just manifested through our careers. I haven't been an SUA student for over 10 years, but still in the various cities that I found myself living in and occasionally visiting, I never pass up an opportunity to meet and engage with alumni around the world, which is always an eye-opening and inspiring experience.
The friends I made at SUA have been my family for the last 12 years as well. And as we now move into chapters of our lives where those families are expanding to include partners and eventually children, I view our community as a massive extended family where our kids can have cousins throughout the world who will receive them in any state without judgment or agenda, deepen their friendships, and offer support. For those coming to San Francisco, our doors are always open. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
I want to be like you when I grow up. That's amazing. ChatGPT, he just dropped that like it's nothing. Okay, moving on. So it's actually a really great segue because as we've been traveling to support regional meetings this year, we've met and heard about so many partners and spouses who, when they learn about SUA or visit campus or meet Sohokai, are totally inspired and become honorary ambassadors of SUA. How many partners do we have here that are not Sohokai today? I know there's a lot, yes. So from a partner who sports our sunglasses in order to start a conversation about SUA, to a spouse who visited campus and wanted to donate money immediately to the university, to a boyfriend who was so moved by a 10-year reunion that he proposed to his girlfriend on the spot. There are so many amazing honorary Sohokai out there, and I'm affectionately calling this #Spouses of Sohokai. That's alliteration for you, thank you. And we'd really, really love to feature their stories as well, because that's part of our community too. So if you have an inspiring partner story, please reach out to us. We would love to feature them. And thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the partners out there who are supporting your graduate. Welcome to our extended Sohokai family. Now we are very excited to welcome President Ed Fiesel to share some words.
Good evening and welcome back to SUA. Welcome home. Thank you. It's so amazing. I want to welcome all of you here at the PAC today, and those of you joining virtually. I'm so appreciative that we can welcome you back in person for the first time since the pandemic. What an amazing evening it's been so far. I want to thank everybody who worked behind the scenes to put this together, all the presenters. Joyce, thanks for your amazing performance, and Lenny and Jihi, thank you. I'm sure for some of you, seeing Curie Hall and the other major changes in our campus in person is exciting, as you can see the growth and development of your alma mater, which all of you have contributed to in your own unique way. I've also been getting reports and seeing pictures of the in-person Sohokai regional gatherings. I'm so inspired to see the great community of SUA alumni building your shared legacy as global citizens in your respective countries and communities. I can really feel your efforts, to prove the greatness of Soka education that you received here, and your desire and tremendous aspiration to impact your communities in a positive way, as a global citizen should. And so it's really inspiring for us back here at SUA to hear your story. So thank you for all you're doing. I'm completing my third year as SUA president this year, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for all your support, especially during these difficult times. I know all of you, our precious alumni of SUA, have a great wish to support your alma mater and the current students that are here at SUA. There are two areas which I've been committed to strengthening since I've taken on the role of president, and they're career development and financial giving. I wanted to talk a little bit about each of those. For career development, I formed a small working group to coordinate our efforts to engage students in thinking about their career path right from the first year that they arrive here at SUA. This working group consists of representatives from academics, student affairs, including career development, bridges to business, alumni, and administration. They've already identified several ways to enhance our efforts, including connecting alumni with current students on career planning and mentoring. I'd really like to ask for your support in helping us in this endeavor. I know many of you are already doing this, but given that 70% of our students don't go to graduate school after graduating from SUA, I'm really determined to change the culture here at SUA so the majority of our students have great jobs lined up before they graduate. So I want to thank you in advance. For helping us to achieve that goal. In terms of promoting financial giving to SUA, one thing that came out of the pandemic was the idea of holding Zoom calls with donors around the world. These weekly Zoom calls have been such an amazing opportunity for me to see the true generosity and support our donors have provided to our students over the years, including to most of you while you were here. I joined SUA in 1998 as one of the founding faculty members here in Aliso Viejo and as Dean of Students. When our first class graduated, I became the Dean of Faculty, which I held for 12 years, a time when many of you attended SUA. But I know if you didn't take any of my econ classes, I probably didn't meet you in person because you are all such good students and didn't have any problems, had no reason to see the Dean of Faculty, right? And in 2020, as the pandemic occurred, I became SUA's second president after Danny Habuki. During those 20 years supporting Danny, I watched him take care of the financial giving and donors while I focused on student life and academics here on campus. Since becoming president, I have come to see firsthand the greatness and importance of our donors over the years at SUA. While we are fortunate to have a sizable endowment, the fact is that every year since our inception, we rely on annual giving to cover a shortfall, a deficit, between all the revenue we receive from tuition and endowment returns and the operating costs of the university. Most universities depend on alumni for financial giving, so they can fund important programs and provide generous financial aid. Well, when we opened, we had no alumni. And when our first class graduated, Danny told the alumni, you have a 10-year grace period, so not to worry about giving. That meant for the first 14 years, we were not focused on alumni support for giving. Nonetheless, due to thousands and thousands of our generous donors around the world who had no direct affiliation with SUA, but only based on their appreciation to our university founder, Daisaku Ikeda, and their support of his vision to create a world-class university fostering global citizens, they gave over and over again so we could cover our shortfall, grow our endowment, and provide generous financial aid to our students who otherwise, in many cases, would not be able to attend SUA. One of the donors I met with told me that Mr. Ikeda told her, for someone who has their name on the donor walls here at SUA, it's just like you graduated from SUA. She was so happy to hear that. And as I thought about it, it is indeed as if these donors, whose names are etched in the walls of SUA, are honorary alumni, as they have followed us to create they have allowed us to create the financial resources to support our students over the last several decades of our history. I'd like to share a few episodes of these donors that I've met that support SUA. If we can have the next slide. So this is at the beginning of May in Japan, there's a big holiday they call Golden Week. And Japan is just opened up, and so it was the opportunity, first opportunity after pandemic for many of our donors that are in Japan to come to SUA. And so her name is Miss Tanikado. And she gave her first donation a year before we opened in April of 2000. And she's pointing to her nameplate, and this is on the third floor of Founders Hall, and she's a this is gold benefactor wall. And the first row, the first column is when the first donor started. So she's the second, that's how early of a donor, she was. Next slide, please. And she brought her grandchildren with her here, who are also in college. And here she's next to, you can see right above her is, she's now a pillar of SUA. And a pillar of SUA is someone who's donated over $1 million to the university. Yeah. And it was funny because Miss Tanikado was telling her grandchildren, yeah, so you have to keep this up in your life, after you graduate, keep donating to SUA, even though it was beautiful. And it's just amazing. She told me when she came the last time to SUA, she was walking in the Performing Arts Center, and she's noticed the pillars, and she noticed that the names ended, right, the one before her. And she said she could envision that her name was going to be there. And then she was actually able to accomplish that during COVID, and she was able to see her name on the wall there. Next slide, please. This is another donor, Mr. Kanaji, Mr. and Mrs. Kanaji. They donated also before the university was opened. And you can see there, this is the first section of Founder Circle. So they were one of the first Founder Circle, which is a $100,000 donation. And this is their family that's actually local, and they're cousins of the Kanajis. And so because of them, they could come and learn and support the university as well. Next slide. I met with Mr. Kanaji by Zoom last October, and he is going through a very difficult, serious illness that almost took his life. And he was still very much in the recovery phase. But as we were meeting, the development staff showed a picture of this tree that we're at. And they said, this is the tree that Mr. Ikeda, they lost their son tragically just before SUA opened. And Mr. Ikeda asked that a tree be planted in the son's name. And so this is the tree that actually they planted. And I noticed that it's actually in Peace Grove, right? That we just created Peace Grove. So I told Mr. Kanaji, you have to come and see this tree. And you have to come and see, your new nameplates. And so the tree is named after their son, Atsunori. And so Miraculously, I got to notice he was coming, and this was just 6 months after we had this Zoom meeting. I had no expectation. It might be years before he came back, but they were able to come and take this picture by the tree that's dedicated to their son. And I told them that it greets the students to Peace Grove every day. Next slide. And we were able to unveil their nameplate, which is Diamond Benefactor, which is $500,000 donation. And so they had just reached that as well. Next slide, please. And this is Mr. Kono. Mr. and Mrs. Kono, they lost their son actually in the early 90s. And at that time, Mr. Keita had asked that a tree be planted in Calabasas after their son, Kazuhiko. And so when we moved here, this is now their son's tree back at the Athenaeum. So as you go to the reception tonight, it'll be there to greet you, Kazuhiko's tree, and it overlooks the beautiful Wilderness Park right behind him. Next slide, please. And the last story is these two wonderful women, Miss Kodama and Miss Takudo, and they both retired in 2013. And in 2014, Miss Kodama came here for SUA graduation, and she was so inspired. And so she became a donor, and she kept donating, but she brought Miss Takudo the next year. And so they've been coming every year, except for when we've had COVID. Next slide, please. And so with this time, when they came, with their donation, they both became Founders Circle members, So, there's just hundreds and hundreds of these stories of the donors who have been contributing to SUA that made it possible for us, to support our students with generous scholarships. For our 20th anniversary, it was because of the successful fundraising campaign of the Sohokai that we were able to make all the new enhancements you see on campus as you walk around. And it was under the theme of recommitting to the founding principles of SUA. And I would like to ask you now, our great alumni, to challenge to someday have your name on the walls here at SUA. I know many of you already do, but let's challenge and encourage every alumni to achieve this milestone. Next slide, please. Here in this picture behind me is one of our donor walls, named for the category of benefactor. And the benefactor wall is for those who have contributed between $5,000 and $10,000. Now, as you know, I'm an economist, and I've calculated that if you donate $42 a month for 10 years, you can have your name on this benefactor wall. Actually, if you contribute $28 every month for 15 years, you can be on the wall. Now, for those of you who might be a little more ambitious, you can do it in 5 years if you donate $84 a month, And you don't have to worry, that money will also go toward your class total donation, because we have classes that are on our donor walls all over campus. I shared this with the Sohokai board. They said, well, you could also do it all at once. And I said, that's absolutely true. So I hope our wonderful alumni will have the spirit to support your alma mater so that we can continue to provide generous financial aid to all our students. This is especially as we grow the student body and increase the curricular offerings here on campus. In his message to the entrance ceremony of the first class in 2001, Mr. Keita shared the following at the beginning of his message, quote, "Today is the start of a new, untried venture in education for global citizenship." And toward the end, he continued, quote, "In the newly started century, a new, vast, and eternal struggle to create value has begun, and it has started here today," unquote. 22 years later, we've come a long way, and you all are proof of this. We now have over 1,700 SUA alumni leading lives of value creation throughout the world. Now more than ever, it is also the time for the Sohokai to become the rock-solid foundation of SUA, upon which this untried venture in education for global citizenship and this vast eternal struggle to create value will never cease and will gain ever greater momentum as we advance on this second stage of SUA's history. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ed. I know that many of us are very motivated to take full responsibility for SUA's future, and part of that is making a financial donation to SUA. We were so inspired to hear that the graduating class of 2023 created a donation campaign before they graduated with a goal of 100% participation and averaging $2.30 in honor of the class of 2023. So great, right? So no matter what the amount is, it's really about, the heart and the appreciation and participation. So thank you all so much for your incredible generosity toward the 20th anniversary campaign. We would like to respond while we're here as well. We have more than 300 alumni participating in today's meeting, and we'd really love to see each one of us make a contribution to SUA today. So in commemoration of the 18th annual alumni meeting, can we do it? Yes. So here's another QR code. Another one, yes, or go to give.soka.edu or, oops, someone's calling me, sorry. And there's a, you can just donate from your phone or on the website, or Tomoko outside will be here as well to accept a credit card or cash donations as well. So we won't do the whole waiting thing, but we know you'll do it. And we'll ask you again after we get you a few drinks too. So maybe I'll definitely ask you again after, open bar, right? So anyways, that's later. But okay, so before we end the meeting, we need to officially pass the baton of board leadership from Carla to Eddie. So we will now hear a few reflections from Carla, followed by a determination from Eddie.
Thank you all so much. Serving in this capacity the last 3 years, damn it, I was not gonna cry, has been an immense honor. Oh, I feel that I have gained so much more than I have been able to contribute. And I have learned some really amazing lessons over the last 3 years from all of you. Thank you. That I wanted to share briefly. So number one is that our connection to SUA is not a given. It's a relationship that we have to work at, and it takes effort. But it's really, really important that we make that effort because the future of SUA depends on it. Number two is that we all have something to give. I've talked to so many alumni who are doing different doing different things in their lives that make a difference. So whether it's mentorship or giving money or supporting students as they come study abroad in your local area, whatever it might be, we all have a unique gift to give. And it's been so encouraging to see all of that. And I feel like that is what makes this the greatest alumni association in the entire world. And I truly, truly mean it when I say that. Part of it is because we have the most generous, wise, amazing, living donor, and that is founder. And that's so rare today. So I wanted to share something. This is kind of full circle for me. When I was at SUA Student Festival, my sophomore year was a turning point in my entire life. It's when I really understood what Soka University was all about and what we were trying to create together. So I wanted to share from the founder's message to that student festival. He quoted Rosa Parks, and she said, "I have learned that in order to bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. Each and every one of us can make a difference." And then the founder says, "The world awaits you, anticipating the day when the men and women of SUA spread their wings and take flight into the world. For you are among the first in a never-ending line of leaders that will stand in common cause with ordinary people working for the sake of global peace and progress." And now, today, I can stand here and say, based on all of your stories over the last 3 years, I feel like we're actually doing that. And that's really, really encouraging and incredible to me. Thank you. So lastly, which actually this really, really sunk in this week. So it's been 3 years and this is like an aha for me. But the founder doesn't just have hopes and dreams for all of us individually, but he also has expectations for how we're going to treat each other and what we'll build together. So if you've ever had one iota of an idea that you would run for the board or contribute in some other way, please do it. I promise you, you will not regret it. I wanted to thank Tetsuro, Shami, Eric, Jolie, and Eddie who served with me over the last 3 years, for all the tears and the laughter along the way, and for exemplifying servant leadership. I wanted to thank Ed and Arch as well. They've really been supporting the association and the growth that we're trying to achieve. So thank you so much for that. And I'm so happy that Eddie is my successor, because in a very short time, I've seen his determination and his care for all the alumni. So you are in great hands. Take it away, Eddie. Good luck.
Oh, man. Well, first, I'd like to thank Carla for her 3 years of service on the Sohokai Board of Representatives, who began her term navigating our global alumni network through an unprecedented time in recent history, when the world really needed Sohokai global citizens in action more than ever. Then last year, launching from the new strategic vision announcement, began solidifying another mantle layer of the Sohokai together with Eric and Jolie, our incredible class and regional reps and our committee chairs. Let's give it up again to Carla. So this year, my class, the class of 2013, will be hitting our 10-year graduation milestone. And as I began receiving the many emails from the planning committee, I started to reflect back on what it means to be a member of Sohokai. I thought about the past 10 years and all the support I received, and the incredible paths that we've been able to walk, and now the stories that we're able to tell. And it dawned on me why our meeting theme, Sohokai, Soka Global Citizens in Action, taking bold steps to build our shared legacy, is so timely and perfect. As young founders, there is no achievement or impact that is too small or insignificant. Wherever we go, we carry a piece of Soka and each other in our hearts. Together, we are strong. Together, we make each other stronger. I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity to serve the next 3 years. Thank you all very much for the trust that you've placed in me. I'm determined to do my utmost in bringing the culture of care that we all experienced and loved as students to every corner of the world where there is Sohokai. Together with all of you, we will achieve unprecedented engagement with meaningful opportunities to contribute to the success of our friends in the Sohokai, the current students, SUA, and the founder's legacy. Together with genuine bonds and friendships, we will take bold steps to build our shared legacy. Let's do it, Sohokai. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. On behalf of the board, I have the distinct fortune of thanking Carla for her years of service to the Sohokai. And so I prepared actually just a little bit. So I actually have had the great fortune to know Carla for more than 18 years now, which is kind of scary to see. I found that out this morning, that it's actually been that long, which is scary because that tells you also how old I am. And what I'd like to share with you all is that she is truly one of a kind. She is all of the things that you imagine. She is wicked smart. She is sharp. She is deeply loving and super friendly. But amongst all her traits that I personally admire and respect the most, it is her love for Soka and her willingness to go into places when it is hard and do the hard work. There's a saying that I was recently reminded of, which was, when it gets hard is when the real work starts. And Carla, in her time on the board, embodies 100% that. As Eddie mentioned, she started her term in the midst of deeply trying times at the beginning of COVID pandemic and through the many challenges of our growth as an association. But she never gave up, ever, ever, ever. She really embodies what our founder, Daisaku Ikeda, says, that each of us is a treasure of this university and can change our lives to better the world. So I will truly miss Carla every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific. And Eddie, I just want to say that you have giant shoes to fill, buddy. And both Jolie and I are really looking forward to working together to continue developing greater momentum for the future of our awesome Sohokai. And so we would like to recognize Carla. So Carla, if you could please come up, please. And Diana is over there. Thank you so much, Carla. And also, we would actually like to recognize and acknowledge Megumi Tanaka. Megu, please come down. Many of you know, actually, Megumi served as the Associate Director of Alumni Relations for more than a decade and enabled so much growth and joy to take place within the Sohokai. And we want to recognize Megu, so please come down. So Megu, thank you so much. And of course, to end the meeting, Carla actually had a very special request as she leaves the board, which is to sing SUA's student song On the Path of Peace together. And so we would like to acknowledge actually Cassidy Bradford from the class of 2017 who actually made this video that we'll be singing alongside with. But the real goal tonight actually is to make Carla cry. So we'd like to ask all of you to join us in helping make Carla cry. So let's sing together On the Path of Peace. Thank you.
Dreams that came before us are engraved in charity. Let us cherish what is given and embark on this endeavor. Thousand color banners dream of biggest success. As champions of our world, let us come together. The child and glass, the sea and land. All this makes the present, the blessedness of man. Meet in the eyes of others, humanity and grace. Our spirit momentum, our hands provide the way. Princess from the future, drawing wisdom from within. Fortune stars in action, guarding hearts of liberty. Light is on the walls, always justice. All the nation, represent sanity. Upstairs within us, that path is my fear. On this house of prison, the blessedness of man, meeting the eyes of others, humanity and grace. Our hearts create momentum, our hands provide the way. Blessedness of man, meeting the eyes of others, humanity and grace. Our hearts create momentum, our hands provide the way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, Carla cried, so good job, everyone. All right, so this concludes our meeting, but for those of you online, if you'd like to join a casual conversation and catch up with your fellow alumni, you can go to the Zoom on the screen here. Zoom ID 953-2752-0039. And Pri and Julie from our dialogue committee are going to facilitate a space as an opportunity to engage with one another during this special once a year opportunity. So come as you are, no pressure, just join us. And so let's now wave goodbye to our classmates on the live stream. Yay, there's cameras everywhere, so apparently you just wave and it's gonna pick up. So awesome.